Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Another episode of Trash Talk. TJ O'Connor with me as always, my partner Damian, the Wolverine Hill. We're joined tonight by Jeremiah Harper, who's fighting Ricky Field at Jackpot Junction Casino, November 15 for Driller Promotions. Trash Talk is sponsored as always by Valhalla Combat Sports Incorporated, Ink Shrinks Tattoo, and Mile High CBD Buds. Mr. Harper, appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Just got off work not too long ago, so just been kind of sitting back, relaxing a little bit.
Oh, well, thank you for taking the time with us, especially after work. That's one thing that we can't stress to the fans enough, that these fighters have lives. So when they take the time out to meet with us, we really appreciate it. So thank you again. Can't say it enough. And yeah, I mean, getting ready for this fight in November, how are you feeling leading up to this fight?
I'm feeling great, because especially this is my first fight at 35, so this is the least amount of weight I had to cut in a long time. So, it's been easy going, smooth, it's been nothing.
Oh, I could bet those 10 pounds make a difference. Feeling healthy, feeling good. This is a scrap. I mentioned, in the Trash Talk rankings, you're number 2. I feel like you've made that public. You've made that known with your performances. That last performance of yours in May was dominant. I feel like that's the best Jeremiah Harper we've seen. Over the summer, you stayed active. You had a kickboxing match. We had a chance to talk to you leading up to that. What has camp been like in the fall here leading up to this fight? Been staying busy. I know you have a lot of guys that work with you specifically.
Yep. Camp has been normal, just working the hours every day, and this time we try to really focus on just what I'm doing this time and not so much training for the opponent, because my last fight, my kickboxing fight, it was a rematch, so we did a lot of focusing on Josh, picking apart what he did in the last round. We don't really know a lot about Ricky Field, to be honest. I know of his last couple opponents and how they turned out, but I haven't really watched much video. So instead of focusing on him, we've been really focusing on what I'm going to do, and all the skills that I'm learning. And
yeah, well, I'm sorry. I don't know if you cut out or if I interrupted you, but that's one of the things that I actually appreciate and like a lot. Like when people say that they're going out and focusing on them, the way that I see it is, if when you're going out into a fight, you could prepare for what your opponent's going to try to expose on you. And they might do something completely different. Or you could look at yourself and find out what holes you have in your own game and then start sewing up those holes in your game. And then by the time the fight comes, there's nothing for your opponent to expose. So I really like the way that I really like what you said and the way you're going about your camp right now. And now to get a little bit more specific in it, what are those things that you've been working on just to make yourself better?
The one big thing we picked up from my last fight with Josh is cutting angles. That's one of the big focuses is cutting angles, getting those corners, and then we've been working on a lot of speed too. Yep, speed just with the hands. Been the biggest focuses. My grappling's there. Of course, I still practice that every day, but just a lot of boxing fundamentals has been the focus.
You say you've been working a lot of speed. You're not a slow fighter in the least. So that's kind of scary, knowing that you're working on speed.
No, I'm not slow, but 125ers or 135ers are fast. These small guys, And that's my biggest issue when I box my older brother. My older brother, he's a Golden Glove boxer by trade, and I was the highest wrestler while he was boxing. And that first round, when I boxed with him, he just beats me to the punch every time. I can't. It's just after that second or third round, he starts to slow down. My cardio's, my endurance is there, and so I need to be quicker.
I love that story, that perseverance. I mean, going in there with the big brother, you always have the big brother complex, and then letting him get you in the first round, but knowing I'm gonna dig deeper, I'm gonna keep going. I love that mentality because that's one of the things I say is cardio has always been one of your best traits. I feel like, especially in a 9-minute fight, you can push a pace that not a lot of guys can keep up with. Is that something that you plan on bringing up with you at 135 to match the strength that you're putting on? Or, I mean, what's the camp been like as far as conditioning wise? Have you been focusing on the cardio, or have you been focusing more on the boxing and not even necessarily putting on weight? It's just you're not cutting any more weight.
Yeah. No, this camp we were really focusing on the boxing, doing more fitness and stuff like that. You know, calisthenics, a lot of cardio core stuff, or more so core. I mean, my cardio has always been there. I've never really focused on cardio or endurance too much. Yeah, I put my cardio endurance work in, but I've never made it like a centerpiece. And it's funny. You say that's one of my strong suits. My coach would disagree. He'd say, "Nope, you running."
Well, that's like how you know. That's how you know you got a good coach. You can always keep working harder.
That's what I was going to say. That's how you know you got someone that cares about you and pushes you. Because when you listen to what you just said about how it's, you know, you work on it, obviously you're in good shape, but it's never really a focal point. When I watch your fights, that's what I see. I see your ability to grab a guy, break him down, and just go, 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 go. And, I mean, even in your kickboxing match, I feel like that was a great performance on your end. I feel like your striking has taken that step to the next level. And the fact that you've been working on that. I know you mentioned you haven't watched a lot of film on Ricky, but with him being a striker, I mean, he's known, obviously, for the big hands. Is that been a reason why you've been working on it? Or, like you said, are you focusing on yourself and just improving where you're at?
It's more so because of me, because I know that's where my biggest weaknesses are, not that's because of his strengths. I've been working on it because it's my weakness, not his strength. I mean, and I know I've seen his record, like I said, or like you said, I haven't been watching a lot of video on him, but I've looked at his record. I know he has 2 or 3 TKOs on him, or, you know, on his record, and I know what I'm getting into, but, you know, I'm just looking forward to it. I honestly don't know what to expect. I kind of like not knowing what to expect.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that always gives a little bit of not a little bit of a better fight, but almost always gives a better fight, better performance from both guys, just because you don't know what the guy is going to do. Like I've said before in previous interviews, I mean, he's known for his striking, but he could have been in the gym working on his wrestling and jiu-jitsu this entire time, you know? Now, you working on specifically what you need to do better and how to make yourself better for each fight and always improving. Going into each fight, not necessarily just this one, does your opponent's abilities play a factor? Do you think about that at all leading into fights? You know, I mean, granted, I know a few people leading up to their fights, they don't even want to, they don't even check their Facebook. They don't even want to see their opponent or anything like that. Are you one of those guys who's just like, you know what, fuck you, I'm going to do me? Or do you still like, you know what, fuck you, but I still need to know how hard you're training? I would like, if there's a way for me to know your training schedule, are you one of those guys that wants to find out? Or
Well, I don't want to know. I'd rather assume they're working as hard as they can, you know, and just put that in my head, you know, like I'm getting the best version of whoever it's going to be. And so I think the only, especially at the amateur level, there's just not a lot to know about anybody. Their whole game changed from fight to fight. The only opponent I really focused on specifically was my rematch with Josh, just because it was a rematch. And I did already know him kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. I thought I had something to say, but no. I'm just agreeing with you. Like I like that answer, dude.
Yeah. No. I feel like you worded that perfectly, and I feel like you're focusing on all the right things. I can't stress enough. Me and Damien have been talking about this card for a while. I feel like this is a great card at a great venue. Jackpot Junction, I know that crowd's going to be going. And I truly feel like this is probably on paper the best amateur fight on the card. You got the number 2 versus the number 6 ranked guy. I couldn't be more excited. Just before we wrap this up here tonight, Jeremiah, is there any teammates, any sponsors you want to give a special shout out to? Anybody outside the gym that's been there for you this camp and helped you out?
My family and friends are the biggest, besides my camp and the people that, train me, it's just all the love I get and the support I get from my family and, the friends and coworkers that are going to be there supporting me, and they're the biggest thing. They're my sponsors.
Oh,
yeah. That's such a great answer. That's one of the things I always said to my friends when I was fighting. Like, they'd be like, "Oh man, I'm so glad, I'm so pumped." And I'm like, I can't believe you guys really want to watch me fight. Like, I don't think the fans understand what that means to the fighters, that you're willing to take time out of your Friday night, get in the car, travel, and you definitely have a support system behind you. You went to Valhalla and fought a guy from Valhalla and had the crowd cheered for you. So, you definitely bring the house with you every time. I appreciate you, Jeremiah, taking the time to talk with us. The fight again, November 15th, Jackpot Junction. We've said it many times. If you haven't bought your ticket yet,
get it now, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh my God, before you get slapped in the motherfucking face, even though that was a punch.
Definitely. Well, Mr. Harper, best of luck here in the last week of camp in your stuff, and best of skill to you in the fight. Look forward to speaking with you down the road here.
Will do. Thanks.
Thank you.
Like and subscribe to Trash Talk with Damian and TJ. Motherfucker.
We out.
Are you listening? Damn.